Yo, what is going on, you guys? Your boy Putting Montana, and in this video, we're going to be going over how to defeat every zone coverage in Madden 24. There are always ways to attack zones in every single Madden, and in this Madden, it's no different. So in this video, that is what we're going to be going over. We're going to teach you guys how to attack each of the different specific kind of zones in Madden 24. Now, before I get into it, if you guys are new to the channel, do not forget to hit that subscribe button, like the video, comment down below anything you guys might be struggling with, and become a part of the Noti Gang. And if you have nothing to comment and you want to be a part of the movement, just type FTA, because it's for the algorithm and it helps push these videos to more and more people. So shout out to y'all, man. The Hit Stick, Sam, Chris, Coach Corey, Burnett, JQ, Rob, not Rob, he said go Niners. I told you, if it ain't go Colts, we don't want to hear it. FTA gang, FTA squad, thank you guys so much, man. Much love to you guys. You guys keep the channel rocking and bumping and going and doing what we supposed to do. So let's get right into it, man. We're gonna go over how to defeat zones in Madden 24, the weak spots to each zone, the different ways that you guys can attack, and we're gonna go over different plays and route concepts that you guys can actually utilize to defeat these zones. Now, we're going to go ahead and talk about each of the zones that we're going to be talking about, and that's going to be Tampa 2, cover 3, and a normal cover 4. Match coverage isn't that popular right now, at least, so we're not going to go ahead and, stress ourselves out with, a regular match coverage situation. We will, once the situation comes up, we will drop match beaters and all that good stuff on the channel. So we're going to start off with a cover 2 in Madden. So we're just going to call a regular cover 2, Tampa 2 to be specific. And Tampa 2 is one of those formations that will kind of make it so that you have to kind of adjust your zone drops when it comes to Madden. So everybody's going to sit there and press their Tampa 2 and whatever the case is. And just looking at this, we're going to bring up the squigglies for this video, right? Because you have to know where you guys can attack any kind of cover 2. So the ways and the areas that you attack cover 2 are going to be as such. So first off, depending on the cloud flat situation, you're going to be able to either hit the short flat or the deep flat very easily. So obviously, if their cloud flats are set to like 20s, you're going to be able to hit your flats for a good 5 to 10 yard gain, depending on who you're going to be able to miss. So these deep outside routes are going to be open a majority of the time, and I'll show you guys one of the best plays in the game to destroy this specifically. Then you've got the deep middle of the field. This is going to be probably the last read you're going to want to make, depending on if you have players that are going to be spacing out these two safeties here. These are going to be this is going to be your sweet spot when it comes to defeating these kind of zones. And again, it's the same situation. You're either going to hit the short flat, or you're going to be able to hit, the intermediate flats up here. And these are going to be the areas that you're going to be able to destroy cover 2. And the final thing is the high-low read in the middle of the field. You have a bunch of hooks in the middle of the field, and a lot of the times they end up playing the exact same, where they end up focusing on one route. So if you have a high-low read in the middle of the field, it's going to work in your favor when it comes to that. So these are the areas that are going to help beat cover 2. But again, you have to be cautious because cover 2 is one of those sneaky formations where the zones sometimes play a little bit weird. And again, you have to know where their cloud flats are going to be. So again, get comfortable with seeing where their cloud flats are. Notice if they're backing those players up, because if they're backing those players up, they're trying to have them play like those deep corner routes. So I said I'd run a couple plays that will help you guys beat these coverages. And one of the best plays that's in almost every single playbook is verticals. So again, I mentioned that against a cover 2, this outside area ends up being open. Why? Because the flat is literally open. You got the wide side of the field, and I'm going to go ahead and block these guys so you guys can see a proper demonstration here. You got the wide side of the field wide open. So we're going to showcase exactly what that looks like. So we're simply looking at we're going to pass lead to the outside, and as you can see, the route ends up open. And this is one of the best passes that you guys are going to be able to run against a cover 2, is simply a normal verticals route. Now, obviously, we could have hit the deep middle. So this is a perfect example of 2 separate situations. We could have hit the deep middle here if you guys were looking to do that. But instead, a lot of the times this route ends up being the safer option, simply because the safety ends up teetering and kind of focusing on the middle route there. So if we threw this without any pass lead elite or any throw velocity ability, our guy in the middle ends up getting played fairly decent. So again, the middle of the field is a scary spot to throw, especially against a cover 2, because those deep halves end up playing pretty solid. But again, this is one of the best reads you guys can call against a cover 2. Now, another one that is in other playbooks is the verticals concept out of any trips formation. So we're going to call verticals out of trips. Boom. We're going to flip it since we are on that side. Actually, no, we could just call it from this side. And we're going to call cover 2 drop. It's the same thing as cover 2. And we're going to put the vertical side on all streaks pretty much, because we're going to be looking at the outside receiver once again. And this is going to be one of those situations where you're going to pass lead towards that outside. And as you can see, open for a dot, open for a catch. Now I'm going to showcase the instant replay so you guys can see this in full effect. And as you can see, the outside wide open. There's so much area there, especially if you're good with your freeform passing. You can put it in a spot where this guy will have zero chance. And what ends up open as well? The deep middle of the field. We'd be able to pass lead this right inside if this is what their play call is. So again, against cover 2, you want to hit the deep sidelines or the deep middle. And then if you guys want to get comfortable with passing a little bit better, I'm going to go ahead and hop into let's hop into a different formation so that we can actually showcase something for you guys. A high-low read is what you're going to want to hit against these cover 2 situations, because a lot of the times people use their cover 2s with a deep blue in the middle of the field. So let's find a decent high-low situation. Let's just call bench pivot. This is a decent high-low, I guess. So you're going to read the hooks. You're going to read the hooks on the field, and as you can see, we have a high-low read with the in route here, and we have a high read with this guy here. Now, I might be able to smart route him so that he's a little bit higher on the path there. But again, you're going to be looking at, you're going to be reading the hooks to see if you can hit the guy over the top or not. Again, these are sharp reads that you have to make, but this is how you attack a cover 2. You have to make that high-low read. So because a lot of the times this guy in the middle ends up being in a deep blue, which means that their user is going to be what's guarding either the high-low read that you're trying to attack. So again, let me showcase the instant replay on that last play. So again, if this guy is in a deep blue, you're going to be able to hit that guy immediately. And then if this guy ends up guarding this route, this guy here specifically, obviously you're going to have the two options between these two guys. And we ended up making the sharp read and throwing it, boom, throwing a strike right in the middle of the field for a dot. This is how you attack a cover 2. Let's call timeout and hop into a cover 3 to show you guys how to attack that. So let's go into cover 3 drop. And again, verticals is probably the best play in the game because of situations like this. Now, we're going to look at how to attack cover 3. Cover 3 is going to be defeated by floods and seam routes. In cover 3s, they don't usually use vert hooks. They use hook curls, which kind of stay in the middle of the field. They don't really guard any of the vertical routes that go on the field. So one of the open spots in the field are going to be the middle seams. So if you have a formation, kind of like a tight formation, you're going to be able to attack these seams fairly easily when it comes to playing Madden. And a lot of the times they have only one flat pattern, which means that you are going to also be able to use a flood concept on the sidelines to absolutely destroy any kind of cover 3. So if you guys have a pattern like this, where this guy's on a corner, this guy's on a streak, and this guy is on a flat, you end up having a beautiful flood concept and pretty much destroying a lot of the cover 3s. Another way that you can beat cover 3s are on the immediate flats, right? So if you're hitting the flats very, very quickly, you're going to be able to destroy cover 3s simply because they have a deep blue on the outside, and it takes a little bit of time for this guy to go all the way out there. So unless they are on 0 to 5 yard hard flats, these routes are going to end up being open every single time. So a couple of the situations and routes that you guys are going to be able to call against cover 3 is, again, this verticals concept. Verticals concept has the best spacing in the game, and what does it attack? And as you can see, Cam Chancellor going out of his way to actually block that. Let's run that one more time. Gets above the vert, Boom. He's in the seam for an absolute strike. Now let's go over and showcase that replay so I can show you guys a couple of things here. Now the immediate flats, like I mentioned, are actually open. We can throw this in stride, and that's why I'm calling verticals once again. And then if you want, you can pass lead this towards the outside, because again, this is sort of like a flood concept with this guy playing a hard flat here. And then right here, the seam. This is one of the seams that ends up open against cover 3. This is also another route that ends up having some sort of a flood concept when it comes to the DBs, because we end up flooding the left side of the field with a streak and a deep crosser that ends up being wide open. This is one of the easier routes in Madden to complete. Now let's go ahead and call. We don't even have to call a different play, but one thing that we're going to do is showcase a flood concept so you guys can see what it looks like for yourself. I currently have Jerry Rice with he's got Slot Apprentice, which allows me to put different routes out on the field. So we're just simply going to run a flood concept here against cover 3. And again, you have to pick whichever one you think is going to win. And another thing that we could do here is simply add the running back on a streak out of the backfield, simply so we can create the seams to beat cover 3 as well. So X is open early, but we're going to wait and create that flood with the streak. And this is how you're going to destroy cover 3 a lot of the times. So make sure that you're on the short side of the field, or make sure that your streak is going to be able to bring back the outside blue that the defense usually has when they're facing a cover 3. So again, as you can see, flood concept. We have a flat that ends up wide open, and if we threw this, Gronkowski's probably trucking Deion Sanders for a good 5 to 10 yards extra. And then you have the streak going up the middle of the field, not the middle of the field, but there. Then you have the running back, which is open, seams. That's a seam right there. And then you have the flood concept that is absolutely wide open against cover 3. This is how you destroy all of these zones in Madden. Now, cover 4 is very, very similar to cover 3, just more open than ever. It's probably one of the easier defenses to play, unless they're running some sort of a zone unless they're running some sort of a match coverage. But again, match coverage isn't the greatest in this game. So again, just like every single defense that we have showcased, cover 4 is going to be probably the easiest one to beat, unless they're having all of their routes go out to the, to wherever they're trying to get their routes to go out. So again, the verticals route ends up open once again. This is going to be one of those situations where every concept from both, from beating a cover 2 and a cover 3 are both going to work. So again, you got the quick seams. We ended up dropping that because I went for an aggressive catch, not a possession. But again, you got the quick seams that you can hit. Beautiful. Boom. Easy. You have the flood concept that you can hit, just like I just hit in the previous play. This is one of my best setups, honestly. So again, the flat's wide open, but we're going to look towards R1 to get a deeper pass here. Another easy flood concept. The only thing that doesn't work are those deep outside routes, because it is a cover 4. So those deep outside routes end up getting guarded pretty decent if you are facing someone who's running a cover 4. Now for the final route concept, and this is going to work against every single zone in the game. Again, cover 4 is probably the easiest, because if they're sending 3 people, make sure that you're stepping up in the pocket and you're pretty much protecting yourself. Again, you see how much time I have in the pocket here, and try to throw a strike. That's pretty much your main objective, is to not get the pressure to go crazy against you. But as you can see, even with the behemoths that I have on my D line, I have nothing but time in the world, which allows me to wait for a strike to open up if you don't have any of those kind of concepts that I just mentioned on the field. Now, this one here is going to be the bread and butter for most offenses in the game, and that is the wheel route. The wheel route is all the way back, and a decent way to completely destroy a lot of the defenses is to motion a guy over. If you don't have a guy there to actually have on that play, make sure that you have a situation where you're able to motion a guy over. Now, what this does here with the wheel route, this is a very good concept. You have a clear out route that's going with the out route. And then you have a route that's going towards the inside, and it's going to leave the wheel route open for a beautiful hit. And this is actually also going to work in the red zone as well. This is like top tier stuff. As you can see, he ends up open. and it's very hard to guard that. That was with no free form. That was with absolutely nothing. We simply created a situation where we were able to flood that specific side, and you can do this against any coverage in the game. Again, you're trying to get that yardage. You're trying to squeeze that extra yardage out of whoever it is that you guys are playing. You're trying to have a quick hit, a quick route that ends up destroying the defense. This is going to be one of them. So again, if you guys want a nice little play concept, as the adjustments and stuff kind of messed up there, this is going to be a very good play that you guys are going to be able to run against almost anybody that you guys play. You got a streak, you got a flat, and you got the post. Actually, if you guys want to make it a little bit better, I have a slot apprentice, so this combination right here will work wonders. Something like this will work absolute wonders because you have a flood concept on that left side, and again, boom. He's lit up. When they're lit up, they do crazy things. So let's run that one more time just so you guys can, so we can end this video on a beautiful high note, especially with the last concept that I mentioned. And as you can see, boom, oh, beautiful. And then we end up getting a gain of about 20 yards there. This is how to destroy zone coverages in Madden. You have to find the weak spots to each zone and create concepts that will flood, or, you know, again, even a high-low read is technically a flood towards the middle of the field. So if you guys want another high-low kind of concept, this could be another one that you guys can utilize. Literally just an in route, a concept like this with an in route and the post going over the top of that. Or even if you're literally motioning this guy in to the other side, it's the same situation here. You can do the same exact concept here with the high low. The low is open. We actually have an extra blocker there, and as you can see, we're there for an extra 5 to 8 yards. Again, you're just simply flooding the zone so that there are too many receivers in that zone's direction, so that you can sit there and hit whichever one is going higher or lower or towards the outside, depending on what it is that your offense is looking for. This is how you dominate zones in Madden 24. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video, man. My name is Pony Montana. Hopefully this was as informational as I think it was, because this was a lot of talking, and this is why zones are almost, you just can't really use them in Madden simply because of how easy it is to manipulate the zones. You do have to run sort of hybrid kind of coverages so that you don't get absolutely torched, and we got that coming for you guys soon. I dropped the hybrid defense last year, and it was with KOs. So once KOs come into the mix, we will drop another hybrid for you guys that's going to be match, man, and zone coverage, and you guys are going to be able to go absolutely crazy on the defensive side of the ball. My name is Pony Montana. Hopefully you guys enjoyed this video. I will see you guys in the next one, and as always, 2 fingers, deuces, and peace out, you guys.